Welcome to Busan. We travel because we fall in love with people and places. 10 good reasons is all it takes. 10 reasons that awaken all our senses. Let us discover together, admire, grasp, breathe in, and savor the best of Busan. Reason number 1, bridges. Welcome to Busan, a city of contrasts. As soon as you step off the train, it already throws you onto a roller coaster if you're heading towards the touristic areas of Busan's beaches. At first glance, Busan is blue. It is a constant marriage between water and sky, one that you are invited to navigate by land and sea. Your first challenge is to survive the highway loop onto the Busan-Hang Bridge, a cable-stayed bridge with a clearance of 60 meters. This loopy entrance allows you a 360-degree view over most of Busan, particularly the port and adjacent islands, and, as you slowly advance into town, lets you meet Busan's neighborhoods one after the other. A red double-decker ticket is about $15, and the breathtaking experience beats by far a regular taxi ride. The most majestic bridge of Busan, though, is the Hwangam Bridge. About 6 to 7 kilometers long, depending on how you measure it. It took 9 years to finish. It runs across the bay of the Huangalí beach and is featured prominently in Busan's life, not only as a thoroughfare, but also as a symbol and as an entertainment icon. For bridges aficionados, there are many other bridges in Busan that connect different parts of the city located on islands or peninsulas, such as the ORYUKDO, the Busan Daegyo, the Namhang Daegyo, and many more. The most photogenic one by night is the Busan-Hang Bridge, the one you rode on upon arrival, and which one lights up at night in rainbow colors. But you have to climb up a nearby hill to catch that shot in its entirety, a noble pursuit. Reason number 2, skyscrapers. Busan is expected to be a major port and a beach resort, and, as it is with the second largest city in most countries, a smaller version of the capital. I believe that the biggest surprise Busan holds for the unprepared is the vast number of high-rises, mostly luxury residences. I use the outdated work of skyscraper because Busan's buildings truly scrape the sky. Blue on blue, these colossal giants glisten against Busan's expanse of water and clouds, and only become real when you get closer and look up. You can admire them from afar as well, best of all from the Gdongbek Island, from across the canal. But I strongly suggest you get closer. Take a stroll in between the three I call Zenith in short, and you will feel like you walked into a sci-fi movie. The technology involved in building these giants is astounding, and the artistry. Each building, seen from the top down with a drone, resembles a flower with 4 petals. And there are many others nearby, taller and even sleeker if that's possible. Architecture tours are usually reserved for historic cities. Busan holds the future in its hands instead. And yes, it is a city of contrasts. Right next to the giants of glass stand regular-sized buildings with the usual Korean convenience stores, mom-and-pop restaurants, and half a dozen coffee shops. Reason number 3, beaches. The privileged location of Busan's beaches at the southernmost tip of the Korean peninsula comes with many perks, but also some drawbacks. The area is exposed to the whims of the surrounding seas, which also permit for extreme weather events to approach Korea from the Indian and Pacific Oceans, and thus Busan does have to deal with occasional typhoons. The response to these challenges is swift and effective, in the well-known disciplined Korean fashion. Busan has 2 major beaches, Huangalí and Heundé, both charming although very different. The crescent-shaped Huangalí is located in the older part of town, closer to bed and breakfasts and hotels of all kinds, and its promenade is lined up with eateries and cafes. It is also the ideal place to hold large events up to about 1 million people. Weather permitting, be it in spring or fall, Huangalí hosts major festivals, concerts, fireworks, and the likes. Its main attraction, though, is the Hwangam Bridge that crosses the bay right in front of Huangalí. Heundé is the pristine beach running along Busan's major boulevard with luxury hotels. Although it doesn't have a bridge to look upon, Heundé is close to Dongbek Island, as well as to the landing place for day cruises, water sports venues, an aquarium, fine dining, and so much more. It is also relatively closer to the premium outlets and to the seaside Buddhist temple. When deciding where to stay, don't sweat it. Convenient buses run on 3 touristic routes all day long. Reason number 4, temples. On your way to the seaside temple, you get to walk through a market selling food and souvenirs, a side effect of having such a beautiful tourist attraction like Heungdeong-sa. All Buddhist temples in the country are functioning as places of worship. The tourists are just a side effect. There are not too many temples with an ocean view in Korea, thus Heungdeong-sa is a rarity and a sight to behold. Upon a complete restoration in the 90s, the temple vibrates with its refined colors and a giant golden Buddha statue. Healing waters from a fountain and a cave sanctuary can also be visited. By comparison, a second temple that can be reached from Busan on a day trip is much more secluded, and time seems to stop when getting there. Formosa is considered one of the most beautiful Buddhist shrines in Korea, a country with about 20,000 temples. Dating back to the 7th century, Formosa is a large temple belonging to the Silla dynasty. The current temple, though, is a rebuilt version from the 1600s, since the original was lost to a fire. It does still contain sacred and cultural treasures that have been preserved. Reaching the temple takes a bit of time, but the reward is unmeasurable. It seems lost in time, in silence, and in a sea of colors. Its decorative art, the delicate paintings around each building, it all takes you back to another century. The ultimate experience is to actually walk through the woods towards one of the 11 hermitages hidden up the mountain, or catch the giant wisteria forest nearby in bloom. Reason number 5, ORYUKDO. Ships and boats approaching Busan pass by a lonely lighthouse perched on a giant rock. It is called Heundé, and it has 4 or 5 other siblings depending on the tide. At high tide, it only has Usak, Suri, Gongot, and Gul, but at low tide, Usak splits into Bangpe and Sol. Sounds strange? Well, the volcanic rock that shapes the gorgeous islands standing watch in front of Busan are more or less submerged under the water depending on the time of the day. Be it 5 or 6, the trip to visit these natural marvels, formed through volcanic activity 80 millions of years ago, is truly worth it. There are 2 ways to see them. One is from the ORYUKDO skywalk, from land. It is located on the premises of the Sunrise Park and lets you get closer to the islands on a glass surface while literally walking on water. The second option is to take a cruise. That actually allows you to get so close that you can smell them, inhale them. A full experience with salty winds, seagull cries, rocky waves, and a true appreciation of the distance and vastness of space on the water. I highly recommend the sunset cruise. The sun sets behind the ORYUKDO island, and the $25 you spent on the 2 hours journey are worth every penny. Reason number 6, GAMCHEON. As I mentioned before, Busan is a city of contrasts. Its spectacular high-rises stand quite opposite from the humble but colorful village of GAMCHEON. Korea has transformed many underprivileged localities into arts and culture villages to infuse them with a new life and with some added prosperity coming from travelers' spending. This process started in 2009, when artists as well as locals were engaged to improve their homes with a coat of paint, murals, and art installations. The result was astounding, and GAMCHEON enjoys today a large influx of visitors. A good number of street art pieces, museums, art workshops, as well as restaurants and street food options were added over time. The village has also worked on converting empty homes into modern art galleries, and the art exhibited there is worthy of many posh art districts around the world. May the trend continue. What gives GAMCHEON its character, though, are the whimsical art creations on stairs and walls that exude humor and innocence. With the village located on a rather steep hill, there are a great number of stairs to climb through this labyrinth. The stairs graffiti add to the charm of the visit, along with hidden petite cafes with one tiny counter and 2 chairs and a giant flower painted on the wall. You don't quite know what the next corner brings. Reason number 7, festivals. Seoul is usually the city where most concerts happen, Korean or international. Busan has specialized in festivals instead, and it has venues to host indoor and outdoor events of enormous sizes. The BOF, or One Busan Asia Festival, has been held there for some years, and it brings together dozens of big names in K-pop. An added attractive are the very low ticket prices compared to regular concerts. With a huge Olympic stadium at center stage, the city organizes a cornucopia of events around this festival, including food and cosmetic fairs. Busan also holds a top spot in the world in organizing fireworks. Each year, the Huangalí Bridge is closed to traffic once for the fireworks festival, which also includes music performances by well-known artists. The Huangalí beach is then decked with thousands of chairs for paying guests, but everyone else standing up is welcome to watch for free. All coffee shops along the promenade unlock their sliding doors and stay open till the very end for those who want to eat or sip something. It is estimated that about 1 million people attend. With celebrities such as the world-famous pop boy Jungkook being a Busan native, the city has a soft spot for music. Although anything from cherry blossoms to fish, comedy, food, film, lanterns, beer, folklore, full moon, and whatever not are a good reason for merrymaking. Just keep an eye on a Visit Busan's English language website for dates. Plus, many festivals that have an entrance cost sell tickets online. Reason number 8. Technology. At the end of the 1800s, Busan was a fishing village and a trading port under Japanese occupation. During the Korean War, mid-1900s, it became a temporary capital and refugee camp. A lot has happened since. Today, as a self-governing city, Busan is at the forefront of innovation. A new airport and cruise port are in the works already. One of its well-known technological wonders is the train to Busan. The bullet train that brings most visitors from Seoul to Busan is one of the most advanced in the world. Only a couple more countries count with such a sophisticated rail system that allows a bullet train to run on existing rails. The KTX and SRT rail operators cross the entire peninsula in 2 hours and a half, a very convenient arrangement that saves you from going through customs at airports and doesn't weigh your carry-on. Aside from stunning high-rises, Busan is home to the largest cantilevered roof in the world, which is also the largest LED-lit surface, covering the open-air section of the Dureraum, the Busan Cinema Center. Located at City Centrum, this cinema is the official venue of the BIFF, the world-renowned and acclaimed Busan International Film Festival. Tickets to the festival sell out in minutes, but Busan turns into a glamorous party town during that time. Reason number 9. JAGALCHI. In matter-sufficient seafood, Busan holds the #1 spot in the country, and its fish market, JAGALCHI, is the largest in the nation. With direct access to the Sea of Japan to the east, the Yellow Sea to the west, and the East China Sea to the south, Busan's supplies of fresh fish and seafood are unrivaled. There, you'll get a crash course on marine biology. Aside from recognizable species of crabs, shrimps, oysters, clams, prawns, octopus, and such, there are many new creatures with or without shells that will make you wonder. Sea urchins, sea cucumbers, blowfish, mudfish, or the odd-looking spoonworm or gebul are barely scratching the surface. The main hall houses fresh fish and restaurants. Visitors can purchase the fish or seafood they like on the first floor, and it will be taken to be cooked at one of the restaurants located on the second floor. These have sea views, and most are Korean style with floor seating. JAGALCHI occupies a very large area in the Nampo port of Busan, extending over several buildings and the adjacent streets for a few kilometers. The freestanding stalls and mom-and-pop eateries around the main hall are less costly for both the tenants and the visitors. Reason number 10. Food. I was going to call this last segment MILMYEON for my favorite dish from Busan, but then there are way too many other things you can try there. We've already seen that the fish market is a treasure trove of seafood, but you can also go to any local market in the touristic area, such as the one in Heundé, and get to feast on fish and related creatures. At the market, you can also find inexpensive local fare, such as dumplings, fried chicken, tteokbokki, rice cakes with a fishy gochujang broth, or even international fare. Still, what Koreans eat the most are soups. Meat, vegetables, tofu, noodles. You might want to brush up on the Korean words for beef, pork, chicken, and fish. It'll make your life easier when ordering. And by the way, gochujang is the hot chili pepper sauce that goes into every dish. The redder, the hotter. My favorite soup is the MILMYEON, consisting of cold wheat and potato starch noodles swimming in ice, with actual chunks of shaved ice. The broth is beef-based, and the noodles are topped with boiled beef, egg, cucumbers, and gochujang. Order the hot dumplings along with it, and it will become a symphony for all your senses. This particular soup has originated in Busan, and it was inspired by a North Korean dish. I'm really curious if you will like it. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please don't smash any buttons. Just gently like and subscribe for more. The world is vast and it's all yours. Next time, you might also want to fall in love with this next destination over there. Thank you.